Futures trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Content provided in this segment is meant for educational purposes and is not a solicitation to buy or sell commodities.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Talk. I am Cody. He is Andy. We are coming to you live on Tuesday, new day, new bat time, same bat channel, everybody. It is the 11th of June.
New bat time, same bat channel. Same bat network, the whole bats, all the bats.
That changed around. Paige and Lexi wanted to get it out a little sooner in the week, so people had some extra time to look at it, which we greatly appreciate. So we are rocking and rolling on Tuesday afternoons now.
You got to give the people what they want.
Exactly.
And that's more Tech Talk. But we've got
5 charts.
5 charts. 5. Count them 5. In one hand. 5. That's wild.
We got some good ones today.
We've got some great ones. When you talk about good ones, we've got great ones.
It's great.
We got Whey. We're going to have a nice little spot session today. Spot markets in the dairy, starting with Whey. We're going to go in order. What do you think here, boss?
Dry Whey up again today. Looking pretty perky here on the old chart.
Pretty perky. Whether or not the NAS makes it up there, we'll see.
Check out weekly, right?
Yeah, this is a weekly of Dry Whey on a spot basis, right? Check out Joe Schmidt, Bases Loaded, to learn more about NDPSR and the difference between the two, CME and NDPSR. But yeah, no, this is. I mean, we kind of putted around. We got down. What is this, like close to 35? I don't think the NDPSR ever printed in that area, right? So it seemed like that price wasn't long for this world. But then, here we are climbing back towards 53, and we're kind of doing it here over the last couple of weeks. I mean, for a while, it was just kind of like steady Eddie, just not really doing a whole lot. But then, starting to get a little perky there, huh?
Taking up towards 50 cents.
Taking up towards 50 cents. So that's got some interesting ramifications for a couple of products. Class 3, I mean, you go from, what is it, every penny in Whey, 6 cents in Class 3?
That is correct.
So going from 40 to 50, what is that, 60 times 10? Carry the 1. Math was never my strong suit. I think that's 60 cents a hundredweight, isn't it?
There you go.
That's a lot. When you think about, you don't have to move. You're not moving the cash market to cheese market at all.
Right. You're just Dry Whey by itself.
Correct. You're just adding 60 cents into Class 3, but I'm going to 40 to 50. So,
which, if I'm not mistaken, is there a gap there at 50 cents?
Is there? Check it out. Look at that there, Richard.
It's be a gap chaser, as people will call us unfairly. But if it's there, you might as well chase it.
Okay. Well, first of all, let's be really clear about something. I don't think you hate being a gap chaser. I think it's
absolutely not. I actually love it. I think people coined us with that name in the company, and that's fine. We'll wear it proudly.
Yeah, well, there you go. Let's chase this gap. I mean, I agree. I mean, this looks like it's heading. We got to go fill this bad boy, and that's 51 cents. And very interesting. And so I said it not only has ramifications, obviously, for Class 3, but think about for Nonfat. Like the back of the envelope math is that Whey is non-fat divided by 3, basically.
Correct.
Right? I know that's not a hard and fast rule, but it's a nice kind of rule of thumb, so to speak.
Right.
So if Whey really is going to be good at 50 cents, is non-fat? We'll look at non-fat in a second. Don't you worry.
It's true. It's coming.
Non-fat in the teens, low 20s, maybe that's undervalued if Whey's worth 50 cents. We'll see.
Oh, buddy.
But this little Gap-a-Rooski right here. Now, do you prefer Gap-a-Rooski? Just Gap?
The old Gap-a-Rooski. That just sounds better.
But you have to have it has to be prefaced by old, right?
Well, it sounds like exactly. It sounds like we're hip, right? We know what's going on. We're cool.
I mean,
cool technicians only talk like that.
Uses the word slaps, and I'm still trying to figure that one out. So we'll see how cool we really are. But let's move on. We've got a lot of charts to get through.
We've got a lot of charts.
Next one in order: CME Weekly Cheese. Talk about gaps. We talked about this one potentially getting filled. Now look at that way, man. I mean, this is looking like it wants to at least. Is it going to make an M? It looks like it wants to at least go test this area, 203, and that's another 6 cents from here.
Well, I think that's the interesting part about us doing these on Tuesdays now. We used to say on Thursday, "Hey, we have one more day in spot." It's we are where we are. On Tuesday, anything could happen, right? We could be 10 cents higher, we could be 15 cents lower. There is no telling because we're not even halfway through the week. So
you got all kinds of time.
Exactly. I thought it was kind of forming up to be an M formation also, right? You start knocking on the door of $2, just like we did last time, and then what happens?
Well, so the only, I guess, the rebuttal to that is, this is clearly, $2 is clearly a number where the market seems to find, once it crossed that threshold, it's found consistent resistance here, couldn't even get there here. Once it crossed $2 here on this week, next week it promptly, this is a dime lower week to week, right?
Right.
$1 nickel. So, but what's interesting about this is that looking at it, just kind of taking a step back, it's a big rally, right? You're talking about well, what is this? 150, 142 up to 203. Just a monster of a rally. And this is the best that the bears can do right
Correct.
here in response to that. That's weak sauce. This is the best that the bears can really do in response to this. And so we've got a couple things coming up fundamentally. I mean, we just saw that export report. Pretty good numbers.
Really good.
Year to date, April. I mean, you can't argue with that, right?
No.
And then you've got the price action to boot. And so what's interesting about this too is that this 203 number, a lot of that was based on the barrel. And if you remember, there was that big spread between the block and the barrel. That really isn't the case anymore.
I mean, it's still kind of there though, right? 7.5 cents. I think we're back to right now.
It was pushing on.
It was wide.
Yeah. So I guess my point is that it doesn't require the barrel, I guess in this case, to go back to like a 210, 215, take the barrel to like 205 and take the block to $2, and you're basically right back to here again. So this is a really interesting one. Like I said, big rally. This is the best they can do. And now you're on the verge of closing in on this week's high, right? And this big red candle's like open right here, which is pretty close to $2. No, it's just over $2. We'll see.
Well, I think if you start getting if you get a close over 203, that's going to be the highest, close that we've seen going back into March of 2023.
Yeah, I mean that's a monster close.
Yeah,
that would be a big close. In fact, not March 2023, but you're talking about 2022.
Well, I was talking 2023. But if you want to go to 210, then you're talking 2022.
Because that number is 203. You're right. Okay, good call. So yeah, you get a number over 203. You're talking about a multi-year new high.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting. And futures are kind of pointing that way, right? So we'll see. But this chart, I think at the very least, is going to go test this number. Whether or not it makes an M, you just got to be really mindful of like if you get that like a 204 close on a weekly basis, it could get a little dicey.
Right.
It could get a little wild. So next one, we're trying to cruise right along. This is butter. Just cruising right along this uptrend. So I think we looked at it.
Did we break that?
So we never did on a close.
No, we didn't.
Right. And so it tried to and then just didn't. Came back, trying again here, but still, like if you're just looking at it, well, we haven't moved this line. But if you're just looking at today's close, and let's get rid of this and let's zoom in on this bad boy, shall we? It's technically over it. Not by much, but it is over. So the uptrend continues.
Okay.
The uptrend continues. Now, how about that though? Filled it.
Yeah. I was just looking at that.
That's super interesting. We have managed to finally fill this gap. Took a while. I mean, you're talking about, when is this? First couple weeks of November 2023.
Right.
So we've officially filled that gap. So we'll see. I think the thing to be really mindful of is breaking this uptrend. You need to get it closed below the trend and then open lower the next week. Until then, the thing just continues to hum right along. And it's like the way I look at this chart too, like the price action of it seems sustainable, right? When you have candles like this, where you're opening at $3 and you're closing at 260 or whatever this number is. Yeah, 260. It's a 40-cent break in a given week. I mean, that's just not sustainable price action. You can't keep breaking 40 cents a week.
Right.
But, rallying a couple pennies a week and then just kind of doing that on average, stair stepping, that's a sustainable price action. So yeah, it's until further notice, the uptrend continues, but it is interesting. At the very least, we filled that gap. So we shall see.
The trend is the friend.
Don't trade against the trend. Trend is your friend. That's right.
The sneaky bull, I think, here is Nonfat.
We just talked about, before we talked about Whey.
I think everyone's kind of been focusing on Whey, cheese, butter, and everyone's kind of put Nonfat to the back burner.
So take that rule of 3, right? 47.5 times 3 is 142.5. Let's do that. That's where like that, take Nonfat or Whey, multiply it by 3 to get a kind of like a rule of thumb Nonfat price. So
you're saying with that line, theoretically, that's where Nonfat
if you subscribe to that rule.
Which I think people do.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. It's an interesting, like, when you start to think about it along those lines, like, hey, Whey is starting to really perk up. I feel like we just kind of got stuck in this like range of like 35, low 40s kind of thing, come back down. But yeah, this is interesting. I mean, you've got for Nonfat, I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
Right? The higher low. Whoops-a-daisy. What am I doing here?
I just think everyone's been so focused on cheese and butter lately with, good reason to it, absolutely. But Nonfat has just been pushed. Nobody's really talked about it. It's back on the back burner. And all of a sudden, past couple sessions, it's looked, fairly bullish.
starting to look a little perky. You have the 100-week average, this line right here. This is a major average, right?
Yeah.
So, and then you finally are getting a little bit of, I guess, life out of the momentum to the upside. For a while,
there
it
you
was
go.
kind of this back and forth trade, and then you broke. I think the real, like, whether or not to really get the momentum going, I think you have to clear that high, that former high right there, which is possible, right? But yeah, this is interesting. I mean, you've got a higher low, you've got Whey that's pricing. You take, price of Whey multiplied by 3, you get this 142 and some change. That's really interesting. And then you've got this long-term average that if that gets, I guess broken through and then open higher, non-fat could turn into this could get a little dicey. I mean, it's not like the Southwest is getting any more milk any of these days, right?
No, exactly.
I mean,
Exactly. But if you get above 125, you're talking numbers that we haven't been able to settle above since 2003. Again, we go back. It seems to be a theme here, right? We're going back to 2003 on all these charts.
Yeah. It's like those cardio kitties.
Exactly.
Where they keep like getting on the treadmill, falling off, getting back on. They're just trying to like climb their way up to, like, in this case, 125 and beyond. So that could be a cool band for you, by the way, the Cardio Kitties.
I would join that band.
But yeah, this one, like, to your point, you get a close over this 124. That would also be a close over this 100-week average, this period. This is 100 weeks, right? It's a simple moving average using 100 periods.
I think, as you said before, we would leave all that noise behind.
Mm-hmm. Correct. And it would be, let's say you closed in over that price, right? That would be a new high close. And since we haven't really seen any prices like that since, you got to go back to your point, that 2023 level.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, too, what's interesting about some just markets in general is that when you have, like, markets tend to move and, like, have moves in threes. You have the big trend, breaks through the trend and consolidates, and then has some sort of correction of the trend, right? So I think in this case, we've seen the trend end, right? This downtrend, we're seeing the consolidation, and now you need to see some sort of retracement. And I just did the fib here just real quick. Depends on where you want to, like, just, I guess, put it in here. But I mean, I'd say the first leg of 33, it's 137.
Right.
And that's still less than what the, 3x of Whey is.
Exactly.
So I think you got to be a little bit, non-fat could get a little spicy.
Yeah.
Non-fat could turn into a cardio kitty here. We'll see.
It seems like the sneaky bull in the market.
One more sneaky bull in this market that is all over the news here recently.
Start of the week. We're excited about this one. A little out of the bounds what we do on Tech Talk.
Out of bounds, but it did come at requests. It was a mystery guest that asked for it. They're going to remain anonymous.
That's right.
We're hoping to get Roaring Kitty as a guest host.
If anyone out there knows who Roaring Kitty is, who's watching this, please let us know. We have bets on if anyone really knows who that is. And if you know him personally, let us know. We would love to have him on the show, because this guy is he is in the news right now. If you know anything about GameStop, you'll know exactly who we're talking about.
This has just been such a wicked trade. And I mean, let's go back. This is a weekly. This is going back to May of, like, look at this. Just out of control, like, all the volatility that was having on there, like the massive short squeeze that took place. It seems like it's back in the news. So I don't know. Like I said, it came at request. So, we like requests. This is just interesting. I'm not by any means know anything about stocks on an individual basis. That said, I mean, hey, it broke this momentum. It tried to come back, couldn't do it. And now you have, this is today's session. This is yesterday's session. This is engulfing right here.
Engulf that whole candle.
This is engulfing. That is friendly, especially if you get an open higher tomorrow.
Look at the movement on this thing, though.
Just outrageous. It's unbelievable, like, the level of volatility here. But yeah, I mean, it's a market, and there's a lot of participation in here. So I think it's interesting. Like, you have a lot of clear noise, but, like, this pattern, this 2-bar pattern right here, if you do get an open higher tomorrow, it could start to run away, and, like, you could start to go test some of these former highs, these $48.
What was the high? What is that one? 50? What's the high there? 55?
I forget what that high was. This is going way back, but there was all that noise going on.
But I guess just go back to, like, 2011. Just look at how streamlined everything is, and then you get to 2019, and it explodes.
Yeah, I mean, this is a small dollar stock kind of thing, and then you have that big short squeeze, and all of a sudden this is just wild. So it's just interesting to see how some of these markets kind of play out. But again, just looking at it, just the chart, that's it. We definitely have this engulfing pattern. This could be an inside out where we open higher tomorrow. Look out, $45.
Watch out. Get your games bought at GameStop.
Get your games bought at GameStop. They're going to start going like hotcakes. Roaring Kitty's just going to be flying on this thing, but we'll see. I don't know. Financial markets just super interesting.
Yeah. What to me, what sets them off, the littlest things, just the best.
Well, stocks too. I mean, like, your risk is limited to the share price that you pay.
Right.
So, people can carry it for obviously a lot longer and it's in a marginal position. Did you get those hamsters, by the way?
I did not. Not yet. I'm still waiting. I got to get my GameStop going here, and maybe then we'll buy a hamster.
If I can pitch this thing out at like $45 and I buy you a couple hamsters, would you park them out?
What are you going to do? Ship them to me in a box?
I don't know. I mean, if I can make like $20 a share on this stuff, like, yeah, I'll ship you. We'll hit the pet store. Like,
I'll ship you out a pet store. All right, everybody. We appreciate you tuning in on this glorious Tuesday afternoon for the new time. Same place for Tech Talk. We appreciate Paige and Lexi, as always, going in and filling in the cracks. And until next time, if you have not subscribed, like the channel, told a friend, please do all those. Still trying to get 10,000 likes by the end of this year. And with that, we're going to try again next week on Tuesday. We will see you then. But until next week, have a great weekend. Even better rest of the week. We'll talk to you next time.
Talk next time. Have a good one.